Welcome back to Brian Knows Movies. This week we are talking about The Woman King. Hey, I am so excited to talk about The Woman King starring Viola Davis and Thuso Mbedu. It was directed by Gina Prince-Blythewood, who you may know from movies such as Love and Basketball. This movie is a historical drama. It's a war movie, specifically dealing with the Dahomey Kingdom in the 1820s. The Dahomey Kingdom is one of the powerhouses in West Africa, along with a rival, a much larger kingdom, the Oyo. Both the Oyo and the Dahomey Kingdom are in conflict with one another, and unfortunately, they both supply slaves to Western slavers, specifically the Portuguese slavers. War with the Oyo is imminent. Luckily, the Dahomey have this secret weapon, and that is this warrior tribe of women called the Agojie. They are the royal guard of the king. Viola Davis plays General Nanisca. She knows that the war is coming, and she has to train up new soldiers. So her, along with her lieutenants Agojie, played by Lashana Lynch, and Mbedu, played by Sheila Atim, they set out to recruit and to train up these new soldiers. One of those soldiers is Naru, who's played by Thuso Mbedu. Now, Naru is this strong-willed, stubborn, brash young woman who wants to be free but also wants to be powerful and serve her kingdom. She doesn't want to be married. She wants to be involved with this sisterhood. So you get to learn a lot about her and her upbringing, as well as see her make this journey to become a warrior. But that's not the only thing going on in this movie. In fact, a lot of this movie deals with political intrigue and drama. General Nanisca believes the participation in the slave trade is morally bankrupt. She wants the Dahomey to stop selling Africans to the whites. They're not selling the people of their kingdom, of course. They're selling individuals that they come across through conquest of war and territory. But even that is weighing on Nanisca's heart. She's trying to convince King Gezu, who's played by John Boyega, to give up this slave trade and to start to trade something else, particularly palm oil. So you have that interfighting happening within the kingdom. You have this coming of age / evolution of Naru happening, but also it's a great war film. When the war starts with the Oyo, it's epic. It's a war that keeps your heart pumping and racing. You don't know what's going to happen. It's very brutal. Not only the scenes of battle, but the scenes of raids. Now, there was a lot of drama going into the opening of The Woman King. Nikole Hannah-Jones, who is great, she wrote the 1619 Project. She accurately points out that the Dahomey was integral to the slave trade. And from that, there was a firestorm of tweets and things about what is this movie going to be about? Is it going to be whitewashed? Is it going to try to portray the Dahomey as just being these upright heroes and kind of make this whole slavery thing go away? It was one of my concerns as well. But when you get into the movie, slavery is front and center. The movie does a great job of not excusing the Dahomey for participating in the slave trade. It questions the ethics and the morality of the Dahomey themselves. Even though they are warring with the Oyo, you don't really get a sense that the Oyo are worse than the Dahomey outside of a super evil general, but they're both participating in the slave trade. And you see this country, this kingdom, fight and argue almost in an abolitionist way, should they continue in this way. There is never a time I feel like that they're dismissing the seriousness and the sin of participating in the slave trade. So I was really happy about that. There is possibly some historical inaccuracies with how things went down. I do know the Dahomey continued the slave trade all the way up to the 1840s. I did look that up. I would love to hear if anybody's a historian. After seeing the movie, please come talk to me in the comments below. Since the Dahomey's participation in the slave trade was addressed, what else do we get in this movie? Well, you get pretty much everything. You get the hero's journey. You get a coming of age story. You get political drama, intrigue. You get a romance. You get a war movie. You get commentary on historical issues with the transatlantic slave trade. This movie is an amalgamation of so many things, and I believe that they blend together very well to create this epic, complete telling of the Agojie, the Dahomey, and the time of the 1820s, specifically this war with the Oyo. I also appreciated the cultural connections that I had with the film. When you look at the training montages and things of the Agojie, it doesn't really remind me of normal standard military training as it's been portrayed in the 20th century military of the United States, for example. It reminded me a lot of the sisterhood and brotherhood you would see from historically black sororities and fraternities at a college campus. There's never really a breakdown of these people. Like, you hear about the military, we're going to break you down and build you up. The Agojie, they just build up, which I really appreciate. Also, the songs, the steps, the dances, those traditions remind me a lot of some of the things you would see in college. So that rite of passage aspect of all that was fascinating. It was beautiful. It was probably my favorite part of the whole movie. Hollywood has had a difficult job in correctly lighting black skin. You don't have that problem here in this movie. The night sequences, the day sequences, it doesn't really matter. The director of photography and everybody else that was involved really made sure that the skin was lit properly. That makes a big deal for a moviegoer such as myself that wants to see black people showcase the best that they can be. I also appreciate the authenticity and commitment to costume design, commitment to the props in terms of the weapons that were used by the Agojie and others throughout the movie. I appreciate these beautiful landscapes that were shot. The cinematography was great during the shooting in South Africa. It seemed like every 5 minutes there was either a story beat or an acting beat or something technical going on with the production that I just really was gushing over. Anyway, what's my rating? See it, stream it, or skip it. I am giving The Woman King an enthusiastic see it. This movie is spectacular. I enjoyed the theater experience. I went to see this at a screening a week prior to its release, packed with people from all backgrounds. And I tell you what, the way that we were able to cheer for who we were supposed to cheer for, we were able to take in the sights and the beauty of the movie. I haven't had a theater experience like The Woman King since before COVID. So in saying that, I want to encourage everyone to go see The Woman King, but particularly my African American brothers and sisters here in the States. I think that this is another Wakanda experience. Get your clothes on. If you have your dashikis and your African garb, go out to the theater and see this in droves. I promise you the experience is going to be exponentially heightened if you're planning to go to the theaters this week. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just a guy that loves movies. So if you are going to see The Woman King, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I particularly want to hear from those who may have more historical understanding of the Dahomey people and the Oyo and this war. How does this movie completely relate to historical accuracies? I believe that the goal of this movie was to be honest about the slave trade, but also to really uplift black women and uplift the strength of these warriors. So that's really what the framing of the movie is. If you think that we should take exception to that, hey, I'm open for the debate and I'm open for my mind to be changed. Just please let me know in the comments below. This has been so much fun. Continue to like and share and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will see you at the theaters next week.